What's up, guys? It's your girl Matt Cox from MA Couture Crafting. I am your quilty BFF, and today is a big day for me. Today is the day that I release my very first pattern, and there's no better way to release a pattern than to release it for free. Now, this pattern is super simple, it's beginner friendly, and it converts from a pillow to a table runner and a quilt very, very easily, and I'll be giving you guys videos to show you guys how to do that. Now, the pop quilter community has already had access to this and they're loving it. So if you'd like access to things early, such as my patterns and merchandise at a discounted rate, please consider joining the pop quilter community. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Animation Av Runner, this pattern. Let's run through it really quickly. This is a free pattern by me. And so here we have our fabric requirements. We have our cutting instructions, things to keep in mind. We've got all of our colors here and which dimensions you need to cut. Now, for this, I want you to pay attention. So for the pillow, you'll cut these from this color. From the twin, you will cut these from this color. Don't think you have to cut all of this if you're doing the king. If you're going to do the king, you're just going to stay right here in this right-hand column. And you know what? That's what we're going to do. We are going to make the king size. We've got the block construction. So, if you're doing the king, you're going to come do all the blocks. And here we've got our assembly, finishing instructions, pillow finishing instructions, and our labels. So let's start with cutting these apart right now. My preference for cutting labels apart is to just go, you can go straight up, just cut this out. It does not need to be perfect. We have a coloring page there for you if you want to change yours out, which is not a bad idea. And then we will cut these strips up right here, and we will cut away the strips as we need them. I know we've got all the yellows across the top, all the reds next, the blues. So I'm going to start with the yellows and we'll go from there. So for our original Animation Av fabric colorway, we are going with all solids. We've got a little duckling here, red. I want to say this is Riviera white, and then a bunch of grays. If you want to see me pull this, I did a pull live at M&L Fabrics. Let's start with the yellow. Okay, we are still hanging out with Animation Av Runner, and we have gone through and we've done all of our cutting. So now we just need to check out our block construction. It's only made up of 3 blocks in different colorways, and depending upon which size you choose is how many different blocks of each colorway you're going to need. Not a problem. I'm going to do the king size. We are going to go through and do the first block, and let's lay it out. For our first block, we're going to grab our 2A rectangles, which are the larger ones. Now, if you are doing this and you have directional fabric, and if you have directional fabric, this could totally work. But what you need to do is be very cognizant right now of which side is up and lay it out before you sew it all together. Remember that you can do this in any kind of colorway that you want, but I have designed it to have certain colors be more prominent and blah, blah, blah. So when you're doing this, even though this is not a blue piece, I have it labeled as blue right here so that I know that that's how many of this block that I need to do. So when you cut it, just make sure that you're actually using your labels if you're using a different colorway for sure. So now that I have sewn this block together, you can be team press open, you can be team press to the side. I'm going to be team press to the side just because I know that I'm using white fabric and I don't want that blue to ghost behind that white. So I'm going to press it to the dark side. Again, doesn't matter. Do your thing. I'm just going to set the seam there and open it up. And that looks good. And now I'm going to sew this just like this to the big block. Right sides together. Perfect. These look good. I went ahead and sewed those two to this big block here. And now I'm just going to press again away from that white. So I'm going to put the gray up and push it back this way. So nothing's sitting behind that white because I just don't want it to ghost, and it can ghost possibly. So we'll just push it back just a touch. And we'll do the exact same thing to this other block. Now remember, I'm doing the king, so I'm doing 3 of these blocks. Just for those of you who just need to see it, this is the same block as that very first block. This is going to be the red. That's going to be red. So all my red is this rainbow fabric, and I've already marked that. I already know it's labeled. I'm not concerned. We're good. Okay. Now let's go find the white. Now all of my white fabric is this. Ooh, this is cute. I like what's happening here. I'm going to go on ahead and sew this together, and then we're going to find my big A piece and see what fabric I've assigned for that. Ooh, this is a good one. So the fabric that I've assigned for my light gray is the pterodactyl fabric. This pterodactyl just happens to be facing up, right? And that's great. I don't know that I cut it like that on purpose. I think this is kind of a toss design, but I want to go on ahead. He's actually sitting dead, almost center, which is perfect. Just be cognizant of that. So I'm going to lay it out. I look at it because I could have done it like this and been like, right? So I think it's very nice that it's going to land this way. I'm going to show you me sewing this piece to this piece. We're just going to go right sides together, and I'm going to take it to the sewing machine. Take the same tag that had the red B right here, and I'm just going to label it so that I know that this is the block with the red over here. That's what's going to let me know that this is the same as this guy right here. So wherever this guy goes, this one's going to go. But I've got a little marker just to let me know so that when I look at the pattern, I know that this one is the red one. Cool. We're all done with our first block, so now we're on to block 2. Block 2 is going to be fun because it's got a few of these different grays if you're going with the Animation Av colorway. So be careful. This is it's not your dark gray. Actually, I take that back. It's your dark gray, your medium, your mid. Be careful. And then you've got your blue here. I want you to look at this because this, if you are using a directional print, this particular block in all of the sizes is going to be flipped upside down. So make sure you're paying attention to the directionality of your fabrics, all of them. This block is going to be used upside down. The first one and the last one, the first one and the third one will both be upside down. The second one is this orientation. So I just want you to be cognizant of that. So the way that I'm going to sew this together is I'm going to grab these two or these two and sew them together first, either way. Now this and this have been sewn together. I'm going to right sides together this block right here. And then we'll put on the top block. So although we assembled it this way, it will actually be used in the runner this way. So the second style block is now finished. Now we are going to go ahead and do this third style block. And then that's it. Then we put it together. Now this is super simple. You can do these two together, and then all of them together. Super simple. Now we're on page 6. All the blocks are done. We need to assemble this runner. Now in the directions it tells you to sew the border strip end to end and then cut it according to however long, if you're making a pillow, a twin, a king, a queen. I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to put 3 blocks together, sew a border on them, put another 3 blocks together, sew the border on the top and the bottom. And that way it makes it a little bit more manageable for my space. Doing like a 110-inch strip, that's just a lot. You know, that's a lot. So let's just make it a little bit smaller. And so I'm going to do it in 3s, paying attention to the orientation of the blocks because some of them are upside down. So let's do that. I am laying them out. So I'm making 2 right now. So this is the original colorway. This is the Tula colorway. And I went ahead and put this little red clippy right here so that I know that this is the block. But this is going to be from section, from the first block section. We're just going to go, go, go. A trick is if you lay out all of your blocks in the order that they are on page number 5. So you do the red B, the first block, that block, the second block, the third block, and then you come back under with block number 2, lay that out, block number 2, all those out, and then 3 like this. It's great because all of your 1s go together, all of your 2s go together, and then all of your 3s, and they're already in an order and you won't get confused. So if you just lay them out the same way that they are in 5, block 1s, block 2, block 3, all of your row 1s go together, all of your row 2s, all of your row 3s. It's kind of cool. Hopefully you lay them out the way I told you to. The first column of blocks on page number 5, they all go together in the set of 3. Only thing that we're going to do is we are going to rotate this and flip this one upside down. I'm going to do the same thing since I'm doing 2 different colorways. And then I'm going to sew all 3 of these together, not together, but all 3 of them will go together. And then I'll put the borders on the top and the bottom, and then we'll clip them, and then we'll keep going. So now that it is finished, these sections, I'm going to take this border and I'm going to pin it all along the top here, and then I'm just going to sew down and trim it, and then do the bottom, and do that until I've done it for all 3. And then I'm going to sew the 3 together, and then you will see this runner come together. It is so cool. Just this right here by itself. Now please remember that these can be more than just a bed runner. If you were really digging this and how this comes together, you can keep making more of these runner strips until you have enough to make it a quilt. I'll show you guys that too. For this set, I cut the border strip just a little bit shorter than the original, just because this is very stark and this is very pastel. And so I just wanted to see a little less of it. I could have actually done it even shorter, but you get what you get. You don't throw a fit. You can cut these to a yard if you want, or you can just pin it to the side. It's up to you. But if you are really looking to get it squared up real nice and good, I'd cut it to a yard and then pin it. Yep, that's it. So now I have them all bordered up and pressed out, and they look amazing. This is the center one, and I can tell because I know that I made the dinosaur eggs yellow. And when I look at the cover art, I see the yellow. So that's kind of how I know that the yellow is right there. So that's the center one. And now I'm just going to find the other one and sew them all together. Let's see, it's either one of these two. It just looks amazing. It looks so good. This is upside down, so I know this is going to go the other way. This black, it just pops. It makes it pop so hard. This looks so good. I'm so excited. The other one is over there. Same spiel. Let's just sew them together, and then we will quilt them up and finish them. So for the joining, I would consider, when you're pressing your border strips, to press one up, to press one back. I went ahead and did not, but I did open that seam, so I didn't have a whole bunch of bulk in that area. So I hope that, you know, it works out for y'all the way it worked out for me. It worked out really well. But just in general, you might want to press one up and press one back. Like press the middle one that direction and press these in toward the center. If you want. I didn't. I made it. It's okay. It's fine. They all lined up beautifully. Beautifully. This is a really fun and gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous piece. I went ahead and tested it on one of the beds, and it looks just stunning. So I'd like to make a couple of pillows, but we'll do that on a different video. And I hope y'all enjoyed this. Okay, to the quilters it goes.